Hello, everybody. Welcome to Kingdom of Honor. I'm your host, Sandman Shane Sabunia, along with my good buddy, the Honorable Jeff. And we got some wrestling stuff to talk about tonight. We always put in our description like what we're going to talk about but as you guys know, what we say we're going to talk about doesn't always get talked about, and what and what we're planning to talk about doesn't always get the bulk of what we're going to talk about. So,
Wait, what did you just say? I heard a lot of talk about.
I said we put in the description what
I know I heard you.
we
I'm
think
just
we're going
giving
to
you
talk
shit.
about. All right.
Just giving you shit. No, seriously, guys. That's one thing I hope you've understood about our show is we pick something, and this week it was the Ring of Honor, the very first episode they did, the beginning of the Era of Honor, which had 4 matches, two of which I really, really liked. Two, I hope I never see again. But the reality is, that was our topic for tonight. But this show, we do everything. Throughout the week, we do this on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays, we try to, unsuccessfully most nights, but we do try to stick to AEW only. On Tuesdays, it's kind of an open forum. Anything that's going on in the wrestling world, we will discuss. So, share that with your friends, share that with whoever you want to. That's one thing that we will always do is we discuss wrestling in its current term. Yes, we have a topic tonight. Tonight, Kingdom of Honor, we'll discuss that Ring of Honor very first episode, beginning of the Era of Honor. And we got a little NJPW discussion, but the way this show goes, we might end up talking about WWN before we are done with the night. Just saying.
Yeah, and let's start by talking about a couple of things going on in my life this weekend. So, I texted Jeff earlier today, and I said I'm not sure I'll be able to make the show. I have to take my wife to the ER, and she said,
"Still the greatest comment I've ever heard in my life."
And he said, "Is she okay?" And I said, It's possible I broke her finger." Jeff said, "That's not good," and I replied, no marriage is perfect, Jeff. Even being my best friend, he has not heard this story. So I'm sure you saw on Facebook, Jeff, that we built a dog pen in our backyard.
Yeah, I saw that.
So we were hanging out there with our dogs, and one of us, I have no idea which one, even when it was the last one in there, but we didn't. Whoever was in there last didn't turn the key, the locks on the combination lock when they pushed it down, so the lock wasn't fully locked, and one of the dogs hit it. Actually, like Khaleesi and Rhaegar, our new puppy, were wrestling around, hit it, and knocked it open. And those two were not worried about running away because the puppy's the puppy, and Khaleesi won't go any further than like right around our house. But Savannah's the adventurer and the runner, and she'll take off. And she went running for the door, and I dived out of my chair to tackle her to stop her from getting out of there, which worked. But in the process, I pulled my ribcage muscle, and I also knocked over Melissa's chair, which got her finger stuck in there as it collapsed on her. So that's our fun story about why I had to bring my wife to the ER tonight. It's not broken; it's just sprained, but she's feeling kind of loopy on painkillers. So, the other fun story about my dogs is last night I'm sitting here watching TV, and
wait, did you just literally gloss over the fact that you almost broke your wife's finger?
Well, you weren't commenting on it, so I thought I would just go
I didn't have a chance. It was like boom, boom. No marriages are perfect. That's the part I got out of all this. Anyway,
is that a crazy story or what?
That really was. And
okay.
When you messaged me, no marriages are perfect, and I just sent back, fair enough.
You did. The other thing about funny thing is like I got a knock on my door last night, and my dogs all started going. Well, not Rhaegar because he's a puppy, but Khaleesi and Savannah were going crazy. They would not stop barking, even though I told them to like 3 or 4 times. And you guys heard them bark on here. Usually, and you've heard like when I yell enough, they usually stop. They would not stop. Well, I opened the door, and I have this big white basket sitting on my porch, and I'm like, what the hell? In that basket was Bloody Mary mix, vodka, olives, Cowtails, Reese's Pieces, Slim Jims, and Tennessee Honey Whiskey by Jack Daniels. So I was shocked. It was a care package that was delivered with this group that my wife is in, like quarantine relief groups. Now we have to pay it forward to somebody else in the future, but that was a really cool surprise.
Right.
So.
And that is cool. Anytime whiskey's involved, it's cool.
Well, the thing is that everything in there is stuff that we love. So I knew it had to be somebody that we knew, and it turns out my son's girlfriend is also in that same group, so she got stuff for both me and us and then my daughter and her husband. But still, really cool. So totally not expected.
Fair enough. And you broke her finger in the meantime, so.
Well, sprained it.
You broke it. I don't care.
Fair.
You're a dick. You broke it. That's all that matters.
So, Jeff, you talked about, there's a couple of matches on this show that you really liked, and I'm assuming that one of them was Jay Briscoe versus Amazing Red.
Yeah, it was. To see both of them that young and that green was literally something special. Like, with Jay Briscoe, we talked about Tommaso Ciampa before, about how you're seeing him green, but you don't see Tommaso Ciampa. You're seeing him as this green guy trying to find his way. Jay Briscoe, dude found his way at 20 years old. There was so much of Jay Briscoe that we see now, back 20 years ago, that it just blew my mind that dude knew who he was going to be and what he wanted to be, and he pursued that. That was one of those things that you don't see much with young wrestlers like Randy Orton, John Cena, all these wrestlers. They try to find Austin Aries, Tommaso Ciampa. They don't find their way until they're about 6, 7, sometimes 8 years into their career. Jay Briscoe found it right away, and he was a badass, and it was amazing. It was amazing to watch. And then when you watch Amazing Red, who's always spectacular, he delivered on a level that you would not have expected from someone his age.
Did you see the amazing way that he sold the J Driller?
Oh my God.
And
I thought he broke. Legit, when you can see a guy sell a pile driver and you think they broke their neck, it's amazing. And the way that he landed, I've never seen anyone take a pile driver by tucking their neck like that before.
Mm-hmm.
And to watch him do that, legit, I thought he broke his neck. I was amazed when he got out of that and continued the match.
I watched that and I was amazed by that, and I was thinking the whole time, like, that's exactly what needed to happen in the All Out main event.
Yeah, exactly.
The entire thing, like, Jericho flopping around on the ground, getting close to the ropes, and then if Paige had been the one that was like too out of it to make the cover, then we're talking about a totally different match.
Right.
So, that's I was thinking about that, but I also thought about, like, how many times I've said on the show that I think Jay Briscoe could be used as like the Ric Flair or the Bret Hart of Ring of Honor, and he could be like their go-to guy to be their world champion. And you've said, not necessarily not contradicting me on that, because I think you recognize how talented he is also, but where you said no, he belongs in his tag team with Mark Briscoe. And I think I saw here in this match, like, if he never was in a team with Mark Briscoe, we're talking about Jay Briscoe in the same sense we talk about AJ Styles. That's the kind of talent he has, and he was showing in this match to me. And I really, I feel like Jay Briscoe is one of the very best performers in the wrestling business right now, bar none. And I think he was showing, a lot of that talent here.
Sorry, I got my kid here, so I just.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, one of them. The other one is still hiding in fucking Duluth, but that's a whole nother issue that we don't have time for. Anyway, Jay Briscoe.
Yeah, I think he's absolutely a phenomenal performer, and I think he showed that here. I mean, he sold great. He had great moves. That muscle buster neck breaker he did was just, ow. and the crowd was really hot for it too.
And
You know,
I seriously think that if he had never done the tag team with Mark, if they had just gone their separate ways, done their separate things, I think I would look at him differently. But because the two of them are together and they are so great together, and look at the God ladder match they had last year. You want to see how great these two are together? Just look at that. Yes, they can be phenomenal on their own, but can you ever tell me that either one of them would have had a performance as great as that on their own? They play off each other so well, and they do so much great for each other that it's hard to say Jay Briscoe would be better without Mark.
I think we're going to need to wait till we get to his year-long reign with a championship in our
fair
Ring
enough.
of Honor coverage in order to determine that.
Yeah, but are we going to get to that in the 2011s, 12s, 13s, 14s?
I can't remember what year it is. I think it's 2013. I think his first reign is right before Adam Cole wins his first championship, and then his second reign, I think, is when he beats Kevin Steen for it and holds it for like a year.
Okay, well then I'm looking forward to that because I am really looking forward to the Kevin Steen run here. And if you guys listen to our Patreon, we do a Ring of Honor show. What we're trying to do at least 2 times, maybe 3 times a month, maybe 4 times, depending on how bored we get with it. But regardless, we're trying to do it all the time. Patreon.com/Kingdom of Honor. This last time we did what? 2011 Final Battle?
Yes, we did.
Okay, so head to our Patreon, patreon.com/Kingdom of Honor. It's a membership show, but we definitely break it down and we give you our thoughts, and we're going to continue with the Ring of Honor, Sinclaira of Honor, as Shane calls it, and eventually we'll get back to ECW. We might even do the WWE 80s version. Who knows? It's all up in the air.
Yeah, and even if you don't listen to our Patreon on that, take the 3 hours and 45 minutes and watch that show, because it absolutely is one of the greatest pay-per-views ever.
That is true. Absolutely true.
And the other thing about this match that I want to say, Jeff, is you talked about how great it was and how great performance was by both these guys. Also keep in mind that the announcer said that this match was happening because Jay Briscoe wanted to kind of spring out of his brother's shadow and embark on a singles career. That wasn't the case. That wasn't true. The actual case was that Jay and Mark Briscoe were planned to have a tag team match on that night. Got there to the arena and found out that that Mark wasn't old enough to wrestle according to the rules of that state. So we're talking about Jay coming in there wrestling the singles match, an amazing 4-star match against Amazing Red, not even expecting to wrestle a singles match that night. So that to me makes it even more impressive.
And it was, I mean, straight up, it was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen.
And then I'm sure the other match you're talking about that you love so much on here was Prince Nana versus Towel Boy.
Of course, because you know how much I love those 2.5-minute matches where 1.5 minute of is some guy wiping off the ropes.
Well, you talked about how lonely you've been lately, and that's one of the things about it is it reminds you of like your retirement bedroom, and just only have 2.5 minutes to do something. So,
dude, I'm lonely. I have like all night to do something. 2.5 minutes. That's when I've got a woman.
Well, I've also heard you refer to yourself as Towel Boy in those instances.
All right, that's a good point. Very good point.
I looked at that and I'm like, okay, so you guys have 4 matches on here from this show, and this is one of the ones you chose to put on here. I mean, definitely who would have wanted to see Eddie Guerrero versus Super Crazy instead of this piece of shit?
Right, and they kept talking about the Eddie Guerrero versus Super Crazy too, which really bothers me. The one thing, and I'm going to say this now so we can get it out of the way. Ring of Honor, seriously, if you need to edit these videos, can you please, for the love of God, just delete the entrances completely? Completely. Just delete them. Entrances out, everything. Completely delete it. Because I cannot stare at a curtain for 25 minutes waiting for someone to enter. Plain and simple. I just can't.
What just referring to is that we both thought that our audio was out because they, Ring of Honor used to use, their talent used to use music that is copyrighted when they came down to the ring, and so now they've totally killed the audio in those sections rather than replacing it with other music or cutting out those scenes or even putting a caption on their screen saying, music, sound deleted off so that for whatever reason, for copyright reasons or something. So really, it's a bit jarring to have it come on there, and then all of a sudden, this sound comes out, not even loud, blasting. It goes from silence to that audio being just super loud.
It was brutal because it's like silence. You're turning up, thinking you might miss something, and then all of a sudden, you have two people screaming in your ear, which is one of the most brutal things I've ever heard in my life. But, Steve Corino on commentary was really, really good. He is one of those guys that kind of played I don't want to say Jerry Lawler. It's more of a Gino Gambino type of bad guy that he played, where he was all of a sudden, he was like, yeah, I was in the back talking to that guy, what do you want? Type of announcer, which was really, really refreshing.
Yep.
Or was it more of a Don Callis when he was NJPW?
No, I think Gino Gambino is probably a good comparison.
Okay. Because I was thinking, part of me was thinking Don Callis, but then the fact that Gino, the last few times we've heard him, and I don't know if anyone, we've only got 3 top color guys in wrestling history. We've got, of course, Bobby Heenan and Jesse Ventura. Don Callis is right up there with that for me. Don West was good, but is Don West on Don Callis's level?
Well, yes, because they're totally different types of announcers. Don Callis is more like the laid back. He'll point out something here and there, a little bit snarky, whereas Don Callis is super enthusiastic all the time. If you ask me, if Don Callis was working with Mike Tenay and Don West was working with Kevin Kelly, those announcers are not going to work.
No.
So I think Don West, works great with Mike Tenay, and I think Don Callis works great with both Kevin Kelly and Josh Matthews.
All right, you got me there. So, you definitely got me there because I have to agree with you that.
Perfect. So.
No, and I'm serious. I definitely have you there because I agree. I can't see Don Callis's dry, snarky humor with anyone except for Kevin Kelly. Definitely not with Mike Tenay. Mike Tenay is as good of an announcer he is much better playing off somebody that shares his enthusiasm, which is why he works so well with Tony Schiavone. When he was his own play-by-play guy, I don't know that... Well, we saw it with Taz. He was not as good of an announcer with Taz as he was with Don West. Because Taz, as good as Taz is, was not that ridiculously upbeat, everything is great announcer that Don West was. And you could really see the fallback in Mike Tenay when Taz was there.
The other thing with Tenay is that he also worked really well with Bobby Heenan. But Heenan's snarky, and so is Don Callis, but they're a different type of snarky. Heenan is always on, always energetic, whereas Callis, I think, is just kind of doesn't have the energy that Heenan does, and therefore there's nothing for Tenay to feed off of, really. Would be my opinion. So what did you think of Xavier versus Scoot Andrews? Because in a couple months' time, Xavier will be the first ever Ring of Honor champion.
Yeah, and I liked them both, but I was so pissed off at the 5 minutes of staring at the curtain for Andrews to come in that I started this match with anger.
Okay.
The match itself was amazing. I thought Scoot Andrews had some very interesting power moves that I had never seen before. And, this was 2001, 2002
Yep.
we were watching.
Yep.
It's 2020 now. There were things that Scoot Andrews did back then I haven't seen to this day. So that impressed me. I liked his look. I liked how built he was. I liked the fact that he had, that kind of Ron Simmons haircut. Everything about him I really, really liked. It just was not clicking for me, though. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, it's just so weird that he's been wrestling for 25 years, and I don't remember ever seeing him wrestle before this match. So I wonder, like, where he's wrestled at. I mean, there must be a reason, and that's probably like a reason why he didn't catch on some places, because, I mean, he did a lot of things right, but nothing really seemed to gel together to me. Like you're saying.
Yeah, there was something missing, and I didn't know either of these guys. I didn't know Xavier. I didn't know Scoot Anderson. So watching this match was kind of like fresh virgin eyes. And as I'm watching this, I was looking for something to grab me from either of them, and nothing ever did.
The funny thing is that we would have seen Xavier wrestle the weekend that everything shut down, because he was supposed to be on that Ring of Honor.
Oh, that's right. He was, yeah.
He was supposed to be on that Ring of Honor card where it was past versus present. So you would have seen Xavier then, but didn't work out.
Yeah, and
the only thing, I really did enjoy this match. Until they kind of did the same spot. With Xavier getting hit with the finisher and then having his leg outside the ring, and so I mean I thought that was kind of to have the same thing happen 2 matches in a row was kind of a letdown for me.
It was, but it wasn't.
Thing.
I think the fact that we had yeah, it was. I'm not going to lie, it really was. The fact that, and it was slightly different. One guy got his foot on the ropes, the other guy had it under the ropes. But you're right, the fact that we hit finishers and they went nowhere really did kind of bother me a little bit too. I got past it after I saw Towel Boy, but yeah, it bothered me too.
I got past it after I saw Towel Boy.
I did, because
that might be that's probably the first time that sentence has ever been uttered in the history of the English language.
He was fucking terrible. Like, I get the 2-minute matches, I really do. But God, it was awful. That was awful. Awful.
It was. It really was something that belongs more on WWE or late years WCW than it does on a Ring of Honor show.
It never should have happened ever. I don't care, WWE, WCW. We should never watch 1.5 minutes of a guy wiping down the ropes. Ever. 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 I don't care. Ever.
So when should we see it?
Never.
Okay.
Arlo, can you say never? Never. See, Arlo agrees. Ever. Never see that again. Ever. Anyway, on to the main event.
So who was commenting? Who was commenting this with Kevin's with not Kevin Steen with Steve Corino? Do we know?
I have no clue. I noticed that too, and I was afraid to say it because I thought maybe I was crazy. But it really did seem like it was someone else.
I'm asking because I know whoever that was said something like, "Would I be right in saying that this is not only the greatest triple threat match you've ever seen, but also the greatest match period you've ever seen?" And it's like, maybe at that time it would have been the greatest triple threat match I've ever seen. It would not ever have been the greatest match I've ever seen.
No, because you had Savage, you had Hogan, you had Flair, you had Steamboat, you had, how many other wrestlers? Shawn Michaels, so many other people before him. There's
I would say that Brett and Hennig had two matches that were better than this.
Right. Hello? You said daddy. I have a child.
That said, I really did enjoy this match, and it helps that I like all three guys. I mean, I know you're not big on Low Ki, but this was a time where Low Ki was a lot different than he is now.
After the MLW stuff and after the professional stuff especially, I have become a much bigger Low Ki fan. I think he has been so much better than what I ever gave him credit for.
Okay, good.
Harlow, what do you want? Really? Really? Oh, my kid has been so extra today. And by the way, all y'all got to listen to this.
What are you opening? What, you want some crackers for him?
No, he wants a rainbow popsicle.
Oh.
Schwann's has these Astro Pops for the summer, and he is obsessed with them.
Has he found any gold in the middle of them yet?
No, he hasn't.
Well, that sucks.
And the fact that you even said that makes my head hurt.
That's just because I'm evil, and you're trying to assess out how much evil I have in me.
I'm just trying to raise a beautiful child in this world that is condemned with COVID and riot and blah 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 whatever else.
Well, it'd help if it'd be more beautiful if it hadn't come from you.
That's a good point. No, and seriously, I've really started to appreciate Low Ki's work over the last probably year, just because of all the matches we've watched with him.
Okay. I still think, like, in this time, he was just an absolutely spectacular guy to watch. You know, I mean, he moved incredibly well. He had a moveset nobody else had. That top rope tidal wave is still like something to behold, even in 2020. You know, I mean, that's something that you might see somebody like Will Ospreay do, but not very many people could do that even today. And I just love watching Low Ki in this time and place.
My biggest problem with Low Ki was the fact that he, and yes, I'm doing this right now because I do that. My biggest problem with Low Ki was the fact that he was more about striking than he was about actually fixing wrestling moves. And I said this about halfway through the match. Christopher Daniels was spectacular. Like, carried this entire match. Because as great as Daniel Bryanson becomes, as great as, well, no, he's not. Bryan Danielson becomes, American Dragon or whatever, it's Daniel Bryan, whatever. As great as he becomes, and as great as Low Ki is further on in his career, nobody told the story or had the moveset of Christopher Daniels. And this is Christopher Daniels 20 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of it was also that he was basically the heel in the match, so he was also doing that role, and he was doing a lot of selling, and of course, if you're doing a lot of selling, you're going to sell the story of a match very well.
Well, not just that, but his Boston Crab, I can't think of the other move, Boston Crab, and when he took Low Ki, he had Daniel Bryan, the Boston Crab, And he took low key into some kind of. He had his face hooked, elbows up on his knees. The hell was that? Camel clutch. It was a camel clutch.
Oh, okay.
And he had both Brian Danielson and Low Ki in those moves at the same time. And I was watching that going, fuck, man, that's amazing ingenuity. How many triple threat matches have we watched since then and never seen anything like that? And then, of course, later on, he had the DDT, reverse DDT and DDT neckbreaker combination. Christopher Daniels stole this match. Absolutely stole it.
Okay.
I knew you weren't going to agree with that, but
no, it's fine. I mean, you're a huge Daniels fan. I know that. I expect that. I did, but I didn't think any one of these three guys was better than the other. And if I were going to pick anybody that was the best in this match, I probably would have said Low Ki.
And the funny thing is,
my second probably was Danielson. So.
And the funny thing about that is, about 2014-15, I really became a Daniel Bryan fan. And I started to look back at his matches. I'm like, yeah, this guy's good. And then really over the last year, I became a Low Ki fan. And especially his professional gimmick, stuff he did in MLW with the Knockout Artist. I was like, yeah, this guy's great. Christopher Daniels has always been my third or maybe fourth favorite cruiserweight or X division champion. He's always been in Ring of Honor. He was never the top guy. I just felt like when I was watching this, Daniel Bryan, what the hell was his name? Seriously.
Bryan Danielson.
Okay, American Dragon. Let's just go that way.
Why'd you even ask then?
Because I like to hear you sputter. Just say. Anyway,
all the girls do.
Bryan Danielson and Low Ki.
What? Where's your friend just told me that Neo is not a word? Of course it is. I've seen The Matrix.
Who said that?
Where's his friends?
Tell him to go fuck himself.
Okay.
Tell him I said to as well. I'm just saying. Anyway, Daniel Bryanson and Low Ki, to me, it was a lot more kicking and punching, where it seemed like Christopher Daniels was actually doing wrestling moves trying to progress the story. Does that make sense?
It does. I just don't agree with you.
No, and you never will, because out of all the things we agree on, you've got to have one or two we don't.
Yeah, that's fair. I thought, watching Low Ki flow through people and hit, submission moves on them and hit those flying kicks, and then Danielson, had those amazing submission holds he was putting on. I mean, that to me trumps anything that Daniels was doing. That's so weird to have Daniels and Danielson in the same match.
Yeah, that's probably
what was tripping you up.
Probably, or the fact that, yeah, that's actually probably the biggest thing, is because I keep going with the Danielson thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I really thought it was, and this is just kind of like off the cuff, I guess, but I do remember like when Bryan Danielson went to WWE, I was like, oh great, they're going to turn him into like Daniel Bryan now, and
they did,
and it wasn't just me. I mean, there's other people saying it too, but I think the fact that they actually did that has always just been kind of hilarious to me.
No, and I get that, I really do. I just think, if you're ever going to, just the fact Jay Briscoe and Amazing Red was so good. That might have been, as much as I like the triple threat, and especially the stuff after it, and I'm a little disappointed with Ring of Honor because they haven't gotten it up yet. We've only got the CD versus Low Ki match out of the round robin.
Right.
But I want to see all three of those, or would it be 3 or 4? Probably
Well, it'd be,
4.
no, it'd be 3. It would be Daniels versus Danielson. Danielson versus Low Ki. Daniels versus Low Ki and Danielson versus Low Ki. Yeah, so it would be 4.
Yeah.
No, wait, no. I said
Because
no.
he's got to face
That's,
both of them.
that's not possible.
It'd be 5.
It's only a combination of 3. It can only be 3.
No, it'd
So
be
it'd
5.
be Daniels versus.
It would
No,
be
it'd be Daniels
Daniels
versus
versus
Danielson.
Low-Ki. It'd be Daniels versus Low-Ki. Daniels versus Danielson. Then Low-Ki versus Danielson. And then the winner of them
That's
all
3.
versus...
Yeah, I guess the question is would there be like a final thing?
You would think so, especially if Low-Ki or Danielson wins against Danielson. God, I can't do this Danielson thing. They need to move on to other feuds because I can't do this.
Brian and Christopher, how's that?
All right, fair enough. Anyway, are we done with Ring of Honor? Because I will say this: if you don't have the Ring of Honor app, the fact that they're adding these things now, go get it. Seriously, it's amazing to see these guys that now 20 years later we are loving, regardless of promotion they're in. We've loved them throughout the last 10 years, 20 years, whatever, and we're loving them now. Go watch this. You're not going to regret it. Even Towel Boy.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, it was also one of the ones that they added to the Ring of Honor YouTube channel recently too. So there should be no reason why you can't go out and watch this match.
And Ring of Honor, get that round robin shit up because I want to watch it. Seriously. I'm annoyed.
Like I mentioned earlier, I hurt my rib cage muscle, and I was sitting at my desk here in my home office / living room, and I was like, it was really hurting me. So I took this half of the afternoon off, and I was like, well, what do I want to watch? So I watched obviously an episode of Jessica Jones because we're going to cover that for next week's YouTube show.
We need to talk about that too, by the way.
But
I can't stop watching it. I'm just saying, I'm literally obsessed with watching that show right now. I need to know what happens next.
But then I also watched an episode of Impact. And do you know who's in the finals now of the number one contenders tournament that they started?
Who?
Trey.
Okay, great.
And Ace Austin.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah. So.
Oh my God! Seriously, is that the match that's coming up?
I think the match was actually like last. Well, wait. I think it was probably last Tuesday because that's the last. Because I haven't seen the last Tuesday's episode yet.
All right, then if that's on the next episode of Impact, you need to tell me because those are two of my absolute favorites in Impact.
And then they were also making an announcement about the World Championship on that same episode. So I don't know if they were going to say like whoever wins that match is the new World Champion or what they were going to do. They're still running with the whole Moose is the TNA champion storyline as well. But another reason I brought that up is because, and I texted you this earlier today too, is that you and I kind of every week like one of us has something going on with our top rankings for the year, and we've talked about how we might end up with 2 rankings this year, one for the best wrestler that we watched this year, and then one for the best wrestler of the year, and we might even just have like it all combined into one. But right now, leader in the clubhouse for me after watching his match against Trey is Michael Elgin.
The problem is
because he's had 4.5 star matches now against this year, mind you, against Brian Cage, Sami Callihan, Trey of the Rascals, and and like 6 of them against Eddie Edwards. So
Are we going to?
I am just like to the point where Michael Elgin is one of those guys that he goes out there every week and he says I am the best wrestler in the world, and I'm finding it hard to like have a compelling argument against that.
So are we going to? I guess for me it's still Eddie Edwards, maybe Roderick Strong, and AJ Styles after the TNA match that we watched.
Sure.
But are we going to limit it to matches that we've both seen? Should we watch both the same matches so we can get the same idea on people? Or is it just who we saw?
Well, first of all, you should go watch those 2 matches because they're awesome.
Well, I should, but
second,
do you know how much I have to do? Children. Don't have dogs, but children.
You shouldn't be doing children, Jeff.
Okay, that kind of hurt. Just saying.
I'm just going my words that came out of your
mouth. Bad Shane. Really bad Shane.
Yes, I am a bad Shane. That's fine.
Oh my God.
Okay.
That makes my heart hurt.
Yeah, I know. I'm bad and I'm your god. I get it. Makes it even worse.
Okay. Wow. The fact that I'm even playing along with this.
You have time to watch the damn Arrowverse in order. You have time to watch 2 matches I'm telling you to watch.
Dude, I don't have time to watch the damn Arrowverse in order. It's only the fact that I'm working at home that I have time for that. Drive time.
Doesn't Impact Plus also work at home?
I hate you. I truly hate you. Anyway, let's talk. We've been on this shit now for like an hour and a half. We've covered Impact. We've now covered Ring of Honor. There's some big news coming today. We haven't talked about yet. Why not? Why not? Why not? Why have we not talked about it?
Because we're saving the best for last.
Yeah, fair enough. NJPW is coming back, boys.
Sometimes the sun goes round the moon.
And as much as I love me some NJPW wrestling, there are 2 gaijins missing who are my top 2 of the year in NJPW. It makes me sad.
And who is that, Jeff?
Who do you think? Come on.
I would say Jay White and Will Ospreay.
Of course, because I told you that earlier.
Like I listen to you.
You do. You know you do. And I get it. I truly do. And I get why they've done the brackets the way they did. I get why Jay White, he's in Austria. Or is he Austria or Australia?
Jay White?
Yeah.
New Zealand.
Anyway, he's in his home country. Ospreay left to his home country. The whole COVID banning, can't come in the borders thing, I get it. But man, this New Japan Cup really is going to have an asterisk next to it because the 2 greatest gaijin performers are not there.
Well, let's not get hysterical. Zack Sabre Jr. is still in there.
I love ZSJ.
And in the first round, he's taking on goddamn Kota Ibushi.
I love, yeah, damn it. Such a great match. And I love ZSJ more than anything, but compared to Ospreay and Jay White, he might be on that second level compared to them, but he's not on their level.
I disagree.
Did we have the right or left bracket today?
The left bracket started today, and you know what, and you know what, that's too bad because like I looked at it, and I'm still going to watch the matches. Don't get me wrong, because it's NJPW and we're getting it back. But I looked at this and I'm like, really? I mean, this is what you're coming
Ooh,
back with? Togi
I
Makabe versus Yota Tsuji.
do not run it for me, bitch, because I have an unclear bracket, and I'm watching that tonight.
I'm not going to ruin anything. I'm just telling you what the matches are.
I'll kill you.
You don't want to know what the matches are.
I will drive to your house and slit your... No, never mind. Because if it happens, it's going to be blamed on me.
I'm not telling you who won them. I don't even know who won
Oh,
them.
okay. All right, fair enough. All right,
I'm
right
telling you the
side.
matches, you dumbass.
Right side,
No, left side.
left side. Okay, fair enough.
Put your left foot in. You put your left foot.
Well, we are in rare form today.
So Togi Makabe versus Yota Tsuji.
Wait, what? No, that's the left side, you bitch.
That's what I said. For the fourth time. We're talking about the left side. That's today's matches.
I hope if you're listening to this tonight, you enjoy it.
Because Jeff won't remember it in the morning.
No, not at all. Anyway, Makabe versus... I can't pronounce that.
Yota Tsuji.
Yeah, okay.
Tomohiro Ishii versus Despy should be awesome. That much I'm really
Yeah, that's one I'm going to definitely make sure I watch. The next one? No.
Yano versus Jado might actually be fun because it's going to be like the battle of like who gets the low blow in first to get to victory.
I don't want to see it. I never want to see that. I hope that match like burns in some fire somewhere and I never have to see it.
Yeah, Toru Yano I just do not enjoy.
No, I don't either. I was over him about 4 years ago.
And then we have the falling headbutt guy against Hiromu Takahashi.
And Hiromu is one of those guys that I put my money on. I've got 3 on each side. And Takahashi is one of those guys that I've got going to the finals. Mainly because I love him so much.
What I think is very interesting about this tournament is I was expecting that the winner of it was going to be facing off against facing off against the, Naito in the at Dominion, but this is actually the finals is actually I think at Dominion, right?
No, because Dominion is next. They postponed Dominion to next. It was next month, but it was a week before the finals end. I thought. I might be wrong. I'm always wrong.
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay.
Because I'm showing here that the New Japan Cup ends on July 11th, and I thought July 11th or 12th was the day of Dominion this year. But would they really have 2 shows back to back in Joe Hall, in Osaka Joe Hall? Oh, what is? Oh, it's July 17th. You're right. So this is actually a week before. So, okay. So yeah, so it could be that the winner gets a shot there. All right. So who else is on this side? So let's see. We got the next day. Then we got Okada versus Gato, which is actually kind of cool. It's the first time Okada's really got a chance to get his hands on Gato in an actual match.
Really?
Especially a one-on-one match.
Is it really?
Especially a one-on-one match. I mean, it's possible it was in like a 10-man tag or something. And you got Yuji Nagata versus Minoru Suzuki, which should be actually a really, really fun match. Then you got Yoramura versus Kanemaru. And then you've got Gabriel Kidd versus Taiji Ishimori.
That's the one, and Gabriel Kidd is the one that throws me off the most. Because the New Japan Cup has always been about building the superstar of the future.
Mm-hmm.
And Gabriel Kidd strikes me as that guy who could be, because I've seen him in was it Defiant? I can never remember these, but Defiant, I believe it was. That dude has skills. Major skills. He can be a top heel for a long, long time. And with the New Japan Cup being that, let's see what happens. It's kind of it's been the Sonata group for a while. They're trying to feel out the next great opponent. Gabriel Kidd is one of those guys that stuck out at me as like, all right, I think he can do it. I really, really do. I think Gabriel Kidd could win this bracket.
I think it's a very weird left side because it feels like it's really weak, doesn't it?
It does. And with Takahashi and fuck the other guy's name. Takahashi being the light heavyweight, junior heavyweight, it kind of opens the door for Gabriel Kidd to get an upset. Maybe that second upset being in the finals against Takahashi, which improves Takahashi, to be honest. Because Gabriel Kidd is big, he's tall, he's heavy, he is the perfect guy that if you put it in against junior heavyweight, you can explain away. So Gabriel Kidd winning this thing creates that star that we didn't see coming, which the New Japan Cup is known for, and keeps Takahashi looking strong.
I am really now puzzled looking at this entire bracket. You know who else is missing from this?
There's so many people missing.
Yeah, but who was supposed to get the first shot at the two belts? And he's not even in this tournament now.
Well, no, I'm not going to say it because there's so many people missing.
Yeah, but Kent is missing.
I know. No, he's not. Is he? I thought he was on the right side.
I do not see Kenta listed at all. I'm having a mental block.
No, you're right. I thought he was on the right side. Sorry.
You know, Takahashi.
I know.
Takahashi winning the left side might be possible, but I really don't think Takahashi's going to face off against Naito for the championship.
Nope. And that's why I'm putting my money on Gabriel Kidd. It just makes sense.
Not Okada, huh?
No, because Okada's the champ. I just have the New Japan Cup is different.
Okada's not a champion of anything.
Don't make me rack my brain. It's been 6 months.
Naito's the champion.
Oh, that's right.
He's the double champion.
It's different, though. New Japan Cup has always been about building the star. How many times has Sonata won it?
Sonata's not won it yet. He was in the finals last year against Okada.
But he was always there. Which, it was the G1 or the New Japan Cup that he's won? Or that he's been in the finals of?
Sonata was in the finals last year against Okada.
I'm going back a couple of years. It's never... The New Japan Cup is always the guy that they want to push, but he's never the top star that wins G1. And I could have swore it's been Sonata in either the finals or won it the last 2 or 3 years.
I'm just trying to figure this out. I'm trying to look through the bracket. So I think Okada and Suzuki are going to be in the finals of the left side.
And I'm putting my money on Gabriel Kidd. I just think he's that guy.
Has he even wrestled a match in New Japan before?
Oh, yeah, he has. A couple times. I just think he's that guy that is proven and could make an impact. I could see him and Okada in the finals. Personally, I think Okada's going to win the finals on the left side. That's my pick. But I could seriously see him and Gabriel Kidd in the finals on the left side.
I'm going to say ZSJ wins the whole thing.
You think so? They teased that for like 3 years.
Well, no, he actually did win the New Japan Cup like 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh
But
shit, you're right.
I'm trying to
You're right.
I'm trying to figure out like who else would win this whole, because I don't think Okada's winning,
Oh,
because
and
I don't think
by
they
the
put
way,
Okada and Naito again at Dominion.
you said Kota wasn't in this?
No,
That's
I said Kenta.
Oh,
wasn't in
Kenta.
it.
Okay. Yeah, Kenta. My bad.
The very first thing I said was Kota was taking on Saturday.
That's gonna be a hell of a first round matchup. I might stay up tonight to watch that.
That's on the 22nd, so you stay up tonight. You're gonna be staying up for 6 days to watch it.
I might do it anyway, because that is a hell of a match. Kota and ZSJ. Oh my god, this right side is amazing. Just the first round.
I know. See, that's the thing is I don't see anybody on the left side actually winning it, because I don't think Suzuki would win it, and I don't think Okada would win it. But on the right side, there's so many, like Tanahashi, Ibushi, Saber, could all win it.
Sonata, Sho, Takagi, Yo,
Yeah.
Bushi, Kojima.
But I don't think they would do Sonata, Takagi, or Evil against Naito.
No, but the fact that all these guys are in it, this right side is stacked.
I know, but that's why I'm saying that. That's why I've got Zack Sabre Jr. as my winner. I mean, it's either going to be Saber or it's going to be Tanahashi. But I think it's Saber.
Dude, Shingo, the way they pushed him 2 years ago, and even last year, you can't hang your hat on him.
I'm not. Again, it's because he's part of LIJ. I don't think they would have Shingo versus Naito at Dominion. I don't think they would have Sonata or Evil face off against Naito either, just because they're all part of LIJ.
But the fact that they've teased an LIJ breakup for what, a year and a half?
No, it's not going to happen.
You don't think so? With Shingo? I mean, Shingo is a guy that came in.
And 4 out of the 5 members of LIJ that are in the tournament are in that same bracket. The only one that's not is Takahashi. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's on the other side.
That's what I said.
Could you imagine, and you haven't seen, well, you didn't watch Defiant, did you?
Not very much.
So you didn't see how great Gabriel Kidd can be. I'm just thinking of a final that has Takahashi and Gabriel Kidd in it. Because it could happen.
It could happen on the left side. It couldn't happen on the entire tournament.
On the left side, yeah. Gabriel Kidd is a guy that we really need to keep an eye on. I think he's young, he's talented, he's big. I really, really think he is a guy, and I said that about Marty Scurll, I said that about Takahashi, I said that about ZSJ, I said it about who's the new guy now that I've been all in.
El Phantasmo?
Yeah. I just think Gabriel Kidd is the next big thing. Shut up. No, I'm just thinking Gabriel.
I thought you were trying to get me to list the name of the guys you suck. That's the guys whose dick you suck. So.
Well, they pay me well. Just saying. Anyway, Gabriel Kidd is a guy that I'm very, very high on. And I think he's someone that is the guy to watch. Now, with me saying that, he's going to lose to Ishimori in the first round. Just saying.
That's funny.
And, I could have watched it last night. No, actually, that's this morning. We only had the first half of the bracket last night.
Yes, I know. That's what I said. God, you just do not listen, Jeff.
Why would I?
Yeah. So I mean, there's actually right now we have the June 15th show I want to watch, and then I'm going to watch the June 16th because I feel like the June 15th show is kind of like the like the Rejuvenation show. It's like the New Year's Dash Part 2. So that's
Yeah.
how I feel. But I think you're probably just skip it because that's how you are.
Well, yeah.
You'll watch the Arrowverse instead.
Hey, no, I won't. I'm watching Jessica Jones because we have a show next Monday. And seriously, guys, tune in to this Monday, YouTube, Tuesday on our Patreon. We're doing Jessica Jones. We're going to do the whole series. It was originally supposed to be a 3-part thing, but man, I am addicted to this series.
You're a dickhead?
Don't tell people that.
That's what you just said. I was just making sure that's what you said.
Don't tell people that. They might get the wrong impression.
Which would be what?
Bad chain.
Okay.
Alright, anyway. Where was I? Now you have me thinking of Arrowverse, you dick.
I didn't mean to make you think. Sorry about that.
Anyway, Jessica Jones. We're gonna run the whole season, and that's my thing because I am so into it right now. I've watched the first 6 episodes, and I told Shane I can't stop. It's been such an amazing season that I need to keep going. We're gonna discuss that on Monday. That's gonna be our Patreon only show. Wait, no. YouTube and Patreon. We're going to do it on youtube.com/Kingdom of Honor. We're also going to do it on Patreon/Kingdom of Honor. You guys can listen to that. We're going to discuss Jessica Jones Season 3. And the following week, we are actually going to revisit a show that we haven't done in a long time, and that's our Desert Island series. 4 matches each. We're going to pick them. It's Randy Savage. I'm going to pick 4. He's going to pick 4. We're going to talk about it. And these are the 4 that if we were stranded on a desert island, that would be the 4 matches we would want with us forever. And I have this odd feeling at least 2 of them are going to be the same. But regardless, we're going to do that on our Patreon exclusive, and that's going to be in 2 weeks. And we did this YouTube thing. We do it every other week. No, wait. Every week. We do it every week. We got the Kingdom of Honor on this site. We also have Dynamite After Dark on this site. And it's live on YouTube. Also live on, well, not live. Yes, live on patreon.com. Twice a week. Enjoy.
How drunk are you?
Way too drunk. It's been a rough day, dude.
That's funny. The other thing I wanted to say about this bracket though is they found a way to get me to watch a Taguchi match because he's facing off against my favorite New Japan performer in the first round.
Doesn't matter. It sucks.
I know. I hate Taguchi, but I love Sonata. So.
Fair enough.
All right. So yeah, like Jeff said, we got a bunch of stuff coming up that we're going to be covering. Jessica Jones, Ring of Honor, Randy Savage, New Japan. New Japan is back, baby. And then tomorrow night
I'm
we'll be back
really excited about that, by the way.
Me too.
I've been looking forward to that for like 3 months.
And then next, what is it? Yeah, tomorrow night we'll be talking about Dynamite After Dark regarding AEW Dynamite, obviously. And then Thursday is MCLP Radio Adventure. On this coming weekend is more WWF The Legacy Series, counting down 1988 in the WWF. And then that's all we got. We'll try to do better next time. This is Shane saying long days, pleasant nights. And Jeff saying...
Before I say that, because I will, I'm going to...
No.
Don't make me come across this computer and beat the shit out of you. Anyway, guys,
I could use a colonoscopy anyway. It's fine.
If you are listening to the Legacy series, where they're talking about the older What are they in now? You said 88?
88.
If you're a wrestling fan, I have rediscovered my love for wrestling by listening to that show and watching those shows that they're talking about. You have to do that.
Agreed.
It's truly been amazing. I this last 6 or 7 months I've been kind of down on everything, but watching those shows, listening to those guys discuss it, has been one of the greatest things I've done in probably the last year.
Well, besides talking to me every week.
No, I hate you. So there's that.
Fair enough.
All right, guys. So this is me saying goodbye.
Adios.
Boo.